Well, good morning and welcome to Alsum Farms and Produce 50th anniversary celebration for our Reflections program. We are so honored to have you with us today to celebrate this golden milestone. My name is Christine Linder and I serve as the marketing manager here at Alsum Farms and Produce. Today we celebrate 50 years of Alsum Farms and Produce thanks to all of you. It's truly because of you as consumers who seek out Alsum potatoes and onions at your neighborhood grocer that we celebrate this milestone. And for that, we're really thankful and grateful. Our 50th anniversary theme, Growing Goodness, speaks to how Alsum Farms and Produce has enriched the lives of associates, customers, and consumers over the past 5 decades. We have hosted a year-long celebration of activities. In February, we kicked off with bringing Alsum Farms associates for a tour of our production facility to see how potatoes are washed and packed. In April, we held an employee day of service at a Feed My Starving Children pack event in Fond du Lac. More than 20 associates helped pack 132,000 meals that will feed over 360 children in undernourished communities around the world. In June, we also hosted educational farm tours for our Friesland associates to tour Alsum Farms in Grand Marsh. At yesterday's plant tours, we hosted more than 200 community members, customers, grower partners, and vendors. And today is the capstone event for our 50th anniversary community celebration and the Tater Trot 5K. This year truly has been a time to reflect on humble beginnings. So let's step back to 1973, when gas was just 40 cents a gallon and a bag of 10-pound potatoes was just 90 cents. And a new car, $3,200, and a brand new home, just $32,000. And that year, a 19-year-old entrepreneur embarked on a dream of Glenn Alsum Produce with only a pickup truck and a little bit of cash. Founder Glenn Alsum started in a 600 square foot Quonset hut where he repacked potatoes and delivered them to local grocery stores in southern Wisconsin. As Glenn shared in an article, my first trip out with a truckload of potatoes produced no sales whatsoever. But then it all started to happen. And 50 years later, we pay homage to our founder's vision and dedication to the business. Glenn observed, unlike other businesses in the perishable foods business, things must be done now because there is no tomorrow. As Alsum Farms and Produce celebrates 50 years in business this year, it's truly a chance to reflect on our beginnings, our growth, innovation, and the people and the partnerships from our farm side to our produce buyers that allow our Wisconsin healthy growing certified Alsum potatoes to be a staple in the produce department across the Midwest and beyond. With the Alsum family as our visionaries, we're blessed to have a great team of associates. And there's a handful of employees who've been in the business since nearly the beginning that I'd like to recognize. Please stand when your name is called. Our longest tenured employee, Dave Kutzma, celebrates 45 years with Alsum Farms and Produce. Dave started with Alsum when he was just 17 years old and recalls they would load their own truck and make deliveries. Today, Dave works in retail sales, serving grocery stores across Wisconsin and Illinois. Dave is a gentleman through and through and always has a smile on his face. Joe Wiersma, who works as part of our warehouse team, celebrates 43 years. Joe loads trucks for customer deliveries as well as unloads product that comes in on trucks each day. Congratulations, Joe, on 43 years in the business. This next individual offers her friendly smile to greet visitors daily. Amy Laper celebrates 38 years with Alsum Farms and Produce. Amy serves as a sales and inventory associate. Amy's been a loyal employee who enjoys meeting and greeting visitors and caring for customers. Thank you, Amy. Randy Fisher, our production manager, celebrates 34 years at Alsum Farms and Produce. Randy starts each day at 3:30 in the morning to get the plant ready to wash off loads of fresh potatoes. With the help of his team, Randy helps ensure a smooth operation from the wash shed to the final packing of potatoes. Randy's work ethic is second to none, and he does it all with a calm personality and a gentle demeanor. Another good-natured personality who takes pride in his work is Dean Pugh. Dean celebrates 31 years with Alsum Transport as a local truck driver. He just got back this morning, so he's taking a nap right now. Dean loves getting out on the road and providing excellent customer service with every delivery. Something most impressive about Dean is that he hasn't had an accident in 31 years. Longtime farm associate Jeff Boskell celebrates 31 years with Alsum Farms. Jeff got his start at Alsum Farms in 1992 when we began growing potatoes at our own farming entity in Arena, Wisconsin. The biggest change Jeff has witnessed since he began is how the equipment and technology has evolved at the farm. Thank you to these associates that are Alsum trailblazers and all Alsum associates for your dedication to helping reach this golden milestone today. As many of you know, Alsum Farms and Produce is a vertically integrated, family-owned farm packing facility and logistics company. With the second generation poised to help guide the next 50 years of growth, please join me in welcoming Alsum Farms and Produce Chief Operating Officers Heidi Alsum Randall and Wendy Dykstra for a special introduction.
Christine, thank you for sharing a little bit about some of the many wonderful employees we have with Alsum Farms and Produce for over 30 years. We want to express our sincere thanks to all Alsum associates for the work you've done in putting this event together to make our 50th event celebration a success. We appreciate your passion and dedication to the Alsum companies. Wendy and I are honored to be able to introduce our dad, Larry Alsum. Our dad grew up on his family's farm just 2 miles down the road from here. After graduating from Randolph High School, he attended the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, where he earned a Bachelor of Business Administration and became a certified public accountant. And he worked in the public accounting sector before joining Alsum in 1981. Our dad has been a major role model in our lives, teaching us hard work, dedication, humility, and the importance of relationships. He has been involved in numerous professional organizations and has served in leadership roles for both the Wisconsin Potato and Vegetable Growers Association, also known as the WPVGA, Potatoes USA, the National Potato Council, and the Wisconsin Institute of CPAs. Larry is the past president of the WPVGA board, past chairman of Potatoes USA, and past president of the National Potato Council. He has also served on local education boards, church council, as a Sunday school teacher, volunteer fireman, on the Chamber of Commerce, and on Second Harvester's Madison Food Bank Advisory Committee. Outside of work, our dad is involved in numerous organizations and has several hobbies and enjoys giving back. He is involved in a project in Ghana, West Africa, helping rice farmers grow crops.
Larry's role at Alsum has evolved over the years as the business has grown. When he first started, he bought and sold produce. Larry would load trucks, enter orders, and handle the monthly accounting. After years of establishing and continuing key partner relationships, Larry had the vision to improve the offerings and service to our customers through vertical integration. A trucking subsidiary was established, and just a few years later, we began farming. As the Alsum companies grew, many talented and dedicated employees were added to the team, bringing Larry into the CEO role for all three companies. He has stayed involved in the farm operations and coordinated the supply of potatoes to ensure the network of farmers in Wisconsin and across the U.S. have a steady supply of potatoes to pack and sell. He has also enjoyed various building projects, both in Friesland at our two farm locations. We have heard our dad say many times over the years, we are blessed to have so many great people with great attitudes and work ethic. He would tell you the best parts of his job are the great people, challenges, opportunities, and working in agriculture. He loves farming, working in nature with land, water, and crops, and he values relationships with customers and suppliers. Technology has changed how Alsum has done business in today's environment in the office, plant, and on the farm. The equipment we use to pack our potatoes and onions and grow our potatoes and pumpkins has advanced significantly.
Our dad would tell you that his success is less about him and more about the team around him, both at home and at work. One of the most critical players on his team has been my mom, who he has been married to for almost 48 years. My mom's support of our dad and his dedication to work and industry involvement and her support of our family has played a pivotal role in the success of our family's business. Wendy and I feel very blessed to have both of our parents as role models and support for us and our families. Both are humble but deserve the recognition for their relentless dedication to our families and to the Alsum companies. So without further ado, at this time we would like to welcome our dad, Larry Alsum, to kick off the time of reflection and recognition.
Well, good morning and welcome to everybody, and thanks for being here to help us celebrate our 50th anniversary. Thank you to Christine and Nikki for all your work, all your comments, and all the leadership you've given to both our Tater Trot event and to the 50th anniversary event. We've been blessed. And thanks to Heidi and Wendy for those kind words that you spoke about the family business, and Paul and myself. We appreciate that. And you're doing a fantastic job of guiding and leading the Alsum company, so I'm looking forward to that next 50 years. And just a huge thank you to all of the associates that are out there. It took a lot of work to do these tater trots over the years, and it's been a lot of work to have all these activities for the 50th anniversary. And it's definitely a team effort, and I just give all the credit to them for the work that they've done, and it's been just fun to celebrate and to kind of work together at doing this together as a family and as a company. But first and foremost, I want to thank God for the many blessings that He's given to us and give Him the credit and honor that He deserves. You know, we are all gifted with different things, and God has gifted each one of us differently, but I just praise God for today, and He's blessed us with hundreds of employees over the years that have worked so hard to make this day come. For great customers, for great suppliers, several of the growers are here today with us, and so much more. You know, life is more about the relationships that we establish in life, and as we develop those relationships, that's what drives me every day to get up and want to work, is coming to meet people and trying to work with people and do it as a team. That's what's been the core of our success as a company, and I'm just so thankful for that. At this time, I do want to introduce my family and just ask that they stand up when I call your names off. So my wife, Paula, for 48 years. As Heidi and Wendy said, she's my supporter. She's been the family glue that holds our family together. Our son Tim is here he has his own business in the technology world along with his children, Alexia, Grant, Cammie, and Lucas. And Grant's fiance, Tessa, is also with us. So thank you. Our daughter Heidi, who's up on stage, along with her husband Mark, and Morgan, Madison, and Aubrey are here. Heidi and Mark both work in the family business, so thank you. And then our daughter Wendy, who's up here, and then Neil, Reagan, and Riley are there. So. Our son Chad is not able to be here today. He also works part-time in the family business, but was not able to be here today. Then our son Noah, where's Noah sitting? Oh, standing over there. So Noah has worked in the family business. Right now he's working in the construction industry, so he's helping build buildings. So thanks, Noah, for being here. It's been wonderful to see our family grow, and we're blessed with 9 grandchildren who are all here to help us celebrate today. When you have a family business, it takes a lot of teamwork and a lot of give and take, and there's a lot of demands. It's kind of a 24/7 challenge that we have, but I'm so blessed to be able to work with family. And one interesting thing is, if you reflect upon all the cousins, all the nephews and nieces, a sister, a brother-in-law that have worked for me over the years, there's been so much family that's been involved in the company over the years, and it's just been a blessing to be able to do that. And I know we have husband-wife teams, we have father-son teams, and father-daughter teams that all work in the family business. When you're from a small town, you end up with a lot of family connections, and so just thankful for that. Excuse me. Excuse me. But I want to go back in history to the beginning of the Alsum companies. As Christine mentioned, the story began in 1973, and Glenn's first crop was actually sweet corn. Glenn had worked during his junior high and high school years for a local truck farmer, and they would grow sweet corn and cabbage and cucumbers and peppers, and then they would bring that out to grocery stores and sell them, as well as some farm markets back in the 70s. And that Glenn really enjoyed doing that. And after high school, when I went off to college, Glenn did technical school for a year, and then he worked in the shop for a year, but really didn't enjoy that. And so the spring of '73, he planted that sweet corn, and that summer he sold it. And Lois was his first employee, and I just, I'm amazed at the small startup. It was a pickup truck and garage startup. But when the sweet corn was gone, Glenn needed something to do. And so he took that pickup truck up to Stevens Point area, and he would buy 100-pound bags of potatoes, come back at night, repack them into 5- and 10-pound bags, along with the family help that's up here. And then he would go out and sell them to the grocery stores that next day. And then he would go back up to Stevens Point and buy another pickup load. And so it was a very small, humble beginning that Glenn started in 1973. In 1974, he built his first small warehouse, about 2,000 square feet. He added some more straight trucks and smaller trucks. He hired some employees that were local employees in addition to the family. I know Marcia lived across the road, and Sam lived down the road, and there's other employees that just worked for Glenn. And I hear all kinds of stories about how Glenn started out, and they were good stories. I'll just say that. But at this time, I want to introduce Glenn's family that is here with us today. Glenn's mother, Lois, is the very first employee, and just thankful that she can be here with us today. And then Glenn's sisters, Cindy and Shelley, were some of the first employees for Glenn. We're thankful that they can join us today, and I just want to express my thanks to Lois, Shelley, and Cindy. We do have some anniversary cookbooks here as a souvenir for you. So it's amazing to think that what Glenn started 50 years ago was that garage startup.
You think I can have the mic for a minute?
Lois has got the mic.
I haven't done this before, so I hope you can hear me. No, I know Glenn would be so proud of what happens here. It's just amazing. And I thank Larry and I thank the good Lord above for blessing us all these years.
Thank you, Lois. And at this time, I also want to recognize Linda, Glenn's wife, who worked with Glenn during those early years. Linda's sitting up front here, and just thank you, Linda, for being here today, for helping Glenn with those early years of business, and your trust in me to help run the business after the tragedy that ended the young life of Glenn and his father, Howard. That phone call, you can see it if you want, Linda. I'm going to talk for a little bit here. The phone call it's one of those calls that you'll never forget. I was sitting at a desk in Madison at the time working as a CPA, and I get the call from Paula, calls me to tell me that Glenn was in an accident, and it's just one of those phone calls you'll never forget. I'm so thankful for the opportunity and the trust that Linda had in me to run the business, and that we worked together to keep the business going and growing at that time. As I reflect on those early years of business, I remember those humble beginnings. It was that literal pickup and garage startup. And Glenn had the gift of talking to anyone about anything, and he loved to make a deal always. He was always interesting that way. He worked hard and long hours. One of my best memories of Glenn is the summer of 1974. We went on a road trip together. So I was in college kind of between my sophomore and junior year, or actually between my junior and senior year of college, and Glenn was out of potatoes. At that time, Wisconsin didn't store potatoes all the way through the summer months, and so he was out of potatoes to pack in July. So we did a 3-week road trip. We went to Salt Lake City, Utah, and Las Vegas, Nevada, and the Grand Canyon. We rafted on the Colorado River. For 3 weeks, we just traveled. We had a tent, and Motel 6 was actually $6.99 at that time. And so we stayed at Motel 6s to take a shower once in a while, at least, and so forth. But that was a fun trip with Glenn. That was just a great memory that we had of traveling together. And the tragedy that losing your best friend, his life was cut short on February 18, 1981 due to that small plane crash. Along with his father Howard and the pilot's wife Pat Cook. And when Linda and I began to work together to continue the business, I admit that I made hundreds of mistakes. And sometimes I stand amazed that we actually succeeded and made it through all those mistakes that I made. But the company has grown and changed so much over the past 50 years. From dumping and packing 100-pound burlap bags of potatoes and 50-pound bags of onions, the transition to tote bags, where we get potatoes and onions in a tote that holds about 1 ton, or about 2,000 to 2,200 pounds of potatoes in that. And then the conversion to being able to wash and grade and pack potatoes, so we bring them in bulk now. So you get 45 or 50,000 pounds of potatoes on a bulk trailer, and you flume them off the back of the truck. Just a lot of changes, a lot of improvements, a lot of investment in technology that we've been able to do. Then getting into trucking in 1984, because it was necessary. We had to have trucks to haul our product out to the customers and back in from the farmers. And then our farming operation actually started in 1979 in a joint venture. Another farmer that I knew that I'd worked with a little bit wanted to expand his farm operation, and we went into a joint venture together. Unfortunately, farming has ups and downs, and we had a good year, a break-even year, and a really bad year. And we were going to, basically, our joint venture was bankrupt, and we were going to part ways. I ended up paying off all the bills, and we parted ways, and I took over the farm operation. So hence our farm operation started in 1992. The technology that we use to pack and bale and stack has changed much of our manual labor into more of a skilled labor set, where we need operators and mechanics that can do that for us. The machines have changed at the farm as well, using GPS technology and guidance systems to steer our tractors, remote controls to turn on our irrigation systems and to turn on our control systems for our storage buildings. We've also embraced the Wisconsin Healthy Grown program and have invested in over 50 acres of pollinator habitats, and we're very proud of what we've been able to do that way in order to restore habitat for pollinators such as bumblebees and butterflies. We recognize the role and the responsibility that we have as farmers to be stewards of God's wonderful creation that He has provided for us. We're going to continue to invest in technology and continuous improvement to be best in class in our industry. As Christine has recognized some of our long-term employees, I'm just thankful for all of our associates who show up for work every day. One event that we all experienced was a COVID crisis, and we were, being in the food industry, we were considered one of those necessary industries. We never missed a single day of work throughout COVID. There was one 2-week period in December of 2020 that we had 18 employees out on the plant, but everybody else stepped up and filled in and did the job. We just take care of each other, we take care of our customers, and that's what makes you successful in life, I believe. As farmers, as men and women who are engaged in agriculture, we feed America, we feed the world, and we are proud of our team at Alsum that work together to get that job done. And I'm also thankful for the grower partners that we have who supply us with potatoes and onions, and for the customers who continue to support us. And above all, I give thanks and praise to God for His blessings and His guidance over the past 42 years. I've been blessed to be part of the Alsum companies. And at this time, my daughters Heidi and Wendy are going to come back up, and they're going to introduce some of our grower partners who help supply us with quality potatoes, onions, and fresh produce. Please welcome Heidi and Wendy back to the stage. And one comment before I just caught my eye. This is a picture of Glenn that Lois brought this morning. So some of you have never seen Glenn, but he's a really good looking guy, much better than I am. So, but if you want to come up and see a picture of Glenn, it's up on the podium here.
So as we mentioned previously, a lot about the Alsum company's success can be attributed to having a wonderful team. That team is made up of employees, grower partners, vendors, suppliers, customers, and so many more. About 50% of the potatoes we pack each year are grown on our farms near Arena and Grand Marsh. That means the remaining 50% are grown by other family farms. Wendy and I are pleased at this point to introduce some of our long-term grower partners who are in attendance. All right, so the first is Gary and Linda Beulah. I just wanted to make sure I didn't see you, Gary. Gary was the first potato grower in Linda we started working with over 40 years ago. Gary and his wife Linda own and operate Gary Beulah Farms. In addition to Gary and Linda, they have 4 children, 3 of which, Brian, Tammy, and Nathan, work alongside them at Gary Beulah Farms. They grow russets for both the fresh and processing sector. They also grow red and gold potatoes for the fresh market. In addition, Brian, their son, grows creamer potatoes, and Nathan, their other son, grows russets for both the fresh and processing sector, as well as red potatoes for the fresh market. Gary and Linda, would you mind standing so we can give you a round of applause? Thank you, Gary and Linda, for your partnership, and we appreciate that you have a succession plan as part of that partnership and have some kids involved in the business as well. Next up, we have Joe and Dana Cease and their children, Calvin, Gabe, and Jesse. If you don't mind standing up, the 5 of you. Joe and Dana have been Alsum growers for the past 20 plus years. Joe and Dana grow russet and gold potatoes along with red and creamer potatoes. And then last but certainly not least, Jesse Teal from Anago has grown red potatoes for Alsum for over 25 years. Jesse recently also started growing gold potatoes for Alsum as well. So we're so thankful that you all were able to come down today.
In addition to the growers we have present here with us today, we have a couple long-term local growers that are not here today, and just wanted to highlight a few of those. John Bobeck and the Bobeck family, Trembling Prairie Farms, has been growing red and gold potatoes for the Alsum Farms and Produce for over 30 years. In addition, they supply the Alsum companies with both onions and locally grown celery. The Kreschel family with Jack Pride Farms, Joan, John, Ned, and Dan, they have been growing quality yellow onions for us for over 30 years. And the Scheller family with Crystal Farms, they have been growing red potatoes for Alsum for over 20 years. We're so thankful for those family farms we just highlighted here, and really there's so many more grower partners both locally and across the country with potatoes, onions, and that full line of fresh fruits and vegetables that we offer that help us supply quality produce to our customers. Next, I want to welcome Christine Linder back to the stage.
At this time, I'd like to recognize honored guests who are with us at the state, county, and community leaders. Please stand when your name is called. And this one is an extra special introduction and guest that we have with us with Representative John Plummer of the 42nd Assembly District. John, please come on up for a special presentation to the Alsum family.
Caught me off guard. Thank you. So I know y'all came here to see me today, so I appreciate that. You know, when I first got elected in 2018, One of the first people in my district that reached out to me was Larry, and he invited me over here for a tour of the plant, and I was just absolutely blown away by not only the technology that they use here nowadays, but the staff, and he talks about employees. I don't know if this is a company or if it's a family. I think it's more of a family than it is a company, but people on the coast call this flyover country. This right here is America. This is where real people live and work and appreciate God in our lives. So with that being said, what I have today is a broken $2 frame that I bought. So there, you're gonna wanna upgrade that, but we're on a budget. This is the most important thing here. This is a citation from the Capitol. These are permanently recorded in the chief clerk's office in the building across the street from the Capitol forever. So this is pretty exciting. So Larry, I'm going to ask you to come up here in the sun again. This is how smart this man is. His chair's in the shade. That's good management right there. So I'm going to put my glasses on. I'm going to read this real quickly, and then I'm going to get out of your way. All right, whereas Alsum Farms and Produce is celebrating 50 years in business in 2023, and whereas Alsum Farms began in 1973 with Glenn Alsum, working in a 600 square foot space. I hope this is all accurate, Larry. With hard work and dedication, Glenn grew the family business to 350,000 square feet of production and over 300 full-time employees. Whereas Alsum produces 200 million pounds of potatoes, wrap your head around that, as well as onions, pumpkins, and other fresh produce. Whereas Alsum Farms and Produce distributes locally as well as to some of the nation's largest retailers, including Aldi, Costco, Hy-Vee, Meijer, Piggly Wiggly, Walmart, Woodman's, Whole Foods, and dozens of others. Whereas Alsum Farms and Produce, under the leadership of Larry Alsum and the Alsum family, which I think includes all of you, retains their vision to exceed expectations every day. They remain a national leader in the produce industry and serve their community with integrity, excellence, and now therefore, myself, on behalf of the Wisconsin State Assembly under Assembly Rule 97, hereby congratulates Larry Alsum and Alsum Farms and Produce on celebrating 50 years in business and wishes continued success in the decades to come. Congratulations. Guess they're going to want a picture here, buddy. Where's the camera? All right, one more thing. I got one more real quick thing. One more really quick thing, and my staff did this without me knowing it. They had, to commemorate your 50th anniversary, they had a flag flown over the state capitol for Alsum Farms, so you can frame this and put it somewhere in the office, I would assume, Larry.
Thank you.
And once again, here's that $2 broken frame that I bought. We don't make much in public service, I'm telling you, but congratulations.
Well, thank you, John, for coming, and I really appreciate John's work for us in agriculture. He's a great representative for all of us. Thank you, John.
Thank you. God bless you.
You know, it's really fitting here as we look up, there's a bald eagle flying right over Alsum Farms and Produce right now. I think that's pretty symbolic. At this time, I'd like to recognize and just ask to stand up some of our county representatives. Columbia County Board of Supervisors, District 9, Char Holton. Local officials here we have with us, Tom Alsum, if you could stand up. Local supervisor here on the board, thank you, Tom. Also Larry's brother. Village of Friesland President Steve Williams. Steve's over here in the back. Raise a hand, Steve.
Brian Westra is also here.
Chairperson of the Town of Randolph, Brian Westra. Please stand or give a wave. Friesland Fire Chief Josh Rimmer, right over here next to Steve. And we're also very appreciative to have our Wisconsin Potato and Vegetable Growers Association staff here today. Joe Kurtzman is the managing editor of the Badger Commentator and more than 20 years writing and being able to celebrate and talk about our industry. So we appreciate that, Joe. George Nyberg is over at our Education and Outreach Administrator for the Wisconsin Spudmobile that's maybe coming back in a couple months. So we appreciate all of you and honored guests, and thank you for joining us. You know, events like this just don't come together unless you have a dedicated group. And I'd really like to thank and extend to the entire 50th Anniversary Committee and the FFA chapters that have been sharing knowledge and education and lending a helping hand here today. We so appreciate you being a part of our festivities. Your efforts are truly appreciated. One last housekeeping as we're about to conclude our recognition and reflections program. One friendly reminder, after this program, if you're signed up to attend the Grand Marsh Farm Tour, the bus is waiting for us, so if you're done, maybe run to the restroom and hop on the bus, and Kaylee from Alsum Farms and Produce will be there to check you in. So many thanks and sincere appreciation to all of you for being with us here today to celebrate 50 years of Alsum Farms and Produce. May all of your daily meals include Alsum potatoes and onions. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.